In the ancient days of Israel, amid mountains and valleys, where the air carried whispers of olive trees swaying in the breeze, there lived a king whose wisdom surpassed human understanding. His name was Solomon, son of David. Known throughout the lands as a ruler not just of immense power, but of profound intellect and unparalleled wisdom given to him by God himself. Today, we recount one of the most astonishing stories from King Solomon's reign. A tale that showcases wisdom, justice, and divine insight like no other. Picture this: the bustling court of Solomon. Citizens and travelers from near and far gathered to witness the justice of this extraordinary king. Among them, two women stepped forward. Each was weary, their garments faded and torn, their faces etched with sorrow. They carried between them an unusual dispute, a matter of life, death, and maternal love. The first woman spoke, her voice trembling, holding back tears of anguish. "My lord, my king, this woman and I live in the same house. I gave birth to a child while she was with me. 3 days later, she also gave birth. No one else was with us, just the two of us. But one night, tragedy struck. Her child died because she accidentally lay on him while sleeping. And then, in the darkness, she did the unthinkable. She took my son from my side while I was sleeping and placed her lifeless child beside me. When I woke to feed my child, I found him lifeless, but as morning light broke, I saw that it was not my son." The second woman was quick to respond, her voice rising with indignation. "No, the living child is mine, and the dead child is hers. She's lying, my lord. She cannot accept the truth. The living child is my son." A tense silence fell over the gathered crowd. In the atmosphere weighed by conflicting claims and mounting tension, all turned to Solomon, curious as to how he would solve this heart-wrenching dilemma. Surely no one could determine the truth. How do you decide who the true mother is in such a case, especially when the testimony was one woman's word against another? And then Solomon spoke. His voice was calm, yet commanding. "Bring me a sword," he ordered. An audible gasp rippled through the crowd. A young guard approached, gripping the weapon with nervous energy. "Divide the living child in two," Solomon continued, his tone unwavering, "and give half to one woman and half to the other." The words hung in the air like a thunderclap, and time seemed to stand still. What could the king mean? Was this the solution? Had Solomon, with all his divine wisdom, reached the conclusion to split an innocent life in two? The crowd murmured anxiously, and the two women tensed in anticipation of the king's next move. Then a voice pierced through the heavy silence. It was the first woman. She fell to her knees, tears streaming down her face. "No, my lord. Please, give her the living child. Do not kill him. Let him live, even if I cannot have him." The second woman, however, crossed her arms defiantly. Her voice was cold and clipped as she said, "Yes, divide him. Neither of us shall have him." At that moment, the wisdom of Solomon shone like a lighthouse amidst the storm. Turning to the guard, he commanded, "Do not harm the child. Return him to the first woman. She is the true mother." Gasps echoed through the hall, replaced by murmurs of awe. For Solomon had revealed the truth in a way no one anticipated. Only the true mother, driven by her unconditional love, would rather lose her son and see him live than have him harmed. And in this, Solomon's divine wisdom proved infallible. This act of profound insight and justice solidified Solomon's reputation across Israel and the surrounding kingdoms. News spread far and wide of a king not just powerful, but filled with divine wisdom granted by God. Solomon's judgment wasn't merely a reflection of his intellect, it was a reflection of God's wisdom bestowed upon him to lead his people with justice and fairness. Now, let's pause and think for a moment. This story isn't just about ancient justice or brilliant problem solving. It's a testament to the power of God's wisdom in action. Solomon didn't approach the problem through mere human logic, for logic might have seen this as an impossible case to solve. Instead, he turned to the divine understanding God had gifted him, an understanding that saw beyond words and actions and probed into the very hearts of the two women before him. And isn't this what true wisdom does? It pierces through the surface, unmasking pretenses, uncovering the deeper truths hidden within as God himself sees them. From Solomon's story, we're reminded of our need for God's wisdom, especially in life's most challenging dilemmas. When faced with choices where every answer feels incomplete or wrong, we can't rely solely on our intellect or feelings. Instead, we must seek divine insight, asking God for guidance as Solomon did. This particular story of Solomon also reminds us of God's justice. His justice isn't just about punishment or reward, but about the restoration of what is right. Notice that in this case, the baby was restored to his proper mother. The circle of love, relationship, and justice was made whole again, not through power or wealth, but through truth and understanding. For anyone watching this today who feels stuck in an impossible situation, take heart. The God who granted Solomon wisdom is still the same yesterday, today, and forever. This same God offers you guidance if you seek him. James 1:5 promises us, "If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you." So, whether your dilemma is in work, relationships, or a deeply personal struggle, know this: you don't have to face it alone. Just as Solomon sought divine guidance for one of the most perplexing cases imaginable, you too can turn to God in prayer and ask for the wisdom to navigate through the challenges of life. And finally, let this story stir our hearts to pursue truth and justice in all that we do. The world is watching. People notice when we act fairly, when we're guided by love and understanding rather than selfish motives or fear. Let's be people who reflect the character of a just and loving God by exemplifying wisdom, not just in big moments, but in the everyday decisions we make. Thank you for joining me on this journey through one of the most profound stories of King Solomon's reign. May his wisdom inspire us all to seek God's guidance and justice in our own lives. If this story resonated with you, like and share with your loved ones, and don't forget to follow for more powerful tales from the Bible. Until next time, stay blessed. #Bible, #Jesus, #God, #Jews, #Christian, Christianity, #faith.